If you've ever watched a nature documentary set in Africa, I guarantee you have seen an impala. They seem to be everywhere, right? And because they're so common, they kind of just fade into the background. But what if I told you that this common animal is actually one of the most successful, ancient, and influential creatures on the entire savanna? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and really get to know this incredible animal. Over 100 years ago, Percy Fitzpatrick wrote this and he just nailed it. They're absolutely stunning, but that beauty can sometimes mask a way more complex and fascinating story. We see the picture he's talking about, but do we really understand what we're looking at? I think for a lot of us who've been on safari, you see one and that thought pops into your head, right? Oh, just another impala. It's the animal you see while you're waiting for the lions or the leopards to finally show up. But today, we are going to completely flip that script. We're going to look past the sheer numbers and see the truly remarkable creature that's been hiding in plain sight all along. So let's start with what we can all agree on. Visually, the impala is pretty much the perfect antelope. It's the archetype, It's what you'd probably draw if someone asked you to sketch an antelope from memory. I mean, this picture says it all. Just look at that sleek, shiny reddish-brown coat, that pure white belly, and those really striking black stripes on its tail and thighs. And of course, for the males, those elegant, lyre-shaped horns. It's a masterpiece of design. But let me tell you, that design is so much more than just skin deep. Okay, this is where the impala really starts to separate itself from the rest of the herd, so to speak. Its perfection isn't just about looks. It's an evolutionary triumph that's been millions of years in the making. 6.5 million years. Think about that. That's how long the modern impala has been walking the earth practically unchanged. We have fossil evidence that shows the animal we see today is almost a carbon copy of its ancestors from way back in the Miocene epoch. That is an unbelievable endorsement of its evolutionary design. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? In fact, they're so unique that they don't really fit in with any other group of antelopes. Biologists had to create a whole special tribe just for them, Apeicerotini. It's a one-of-a-kind branch on the evolutionary tree, which is just a testament to a design that just plain works. And this unique design comes with some amazing specializations. Like you see here, males can actually sniff the scent glands on each other's foreheads to check their status. But they also have this other super clever adaptation, a distinct gland on their hind legs, which is covered by these tufts of black hair. When an impala leaps away from danger, these glands release a puff of pheromones. It literally lays a scent trail in the air that helps the scattered herd find each other and regroup. How cool is that? It's like a built-in safety feature.
Now, all this intricate biology supports an equally intricate social life. You've probably heard that old bush tale of a single dominant sultan who rules over a whole harem of females. Yeah, it's a nice story. But the reality is way more fluid and a whole lot more complex.
Throughout the year, impalas can actually form up to 5 distinct social groups. You've got your territorial males with the breeding females. Then you have the bachelor herds kind of hanging out on the sidelines. There are mixed family groups and even these little nursery herds for all the youngsters. Their whole social structure shifts and adapts to the seasons and whatever resources are available. It's an incredibly flexible and successful strategy. And when it's time to fight for that territory, it is not a chaotic free-for-all. Oh no. It is a highly ritualized drama. First, a challenger announces his intentions. Then, the two rivals engage in these displays, walking side by side, sizing each other up. Only then do they actually clash. And look closely at their horns. Those spirals and ridges aren't just for show. They act like a safety device, locking together to prevent slips and the kind of deep, fatal wounds their super sharp tips could cause. Okay, so we have an ancient, unique, and socially complex animal. But now, we get to the biggest reveal of all. The impala isn't just living on the savanna. In places like Kruger National Park, it has become a powerful force that actively shapes the savanna itself. And to understand how, we have to talk about fire. For a big chunk of the 20th century, Kruger National Park actively suppressed natural fires. They thought they were protecting the grazing lands for other animals. They were trying to help, but it had a massive unintended consequence. So here's the crucial part. Without fire to clear out all the young trees and shrubs, the whole landscape started to change. What used to be open grasslands became this dense bushveld. It's a process called bush encroachment, and it created the perfect storm for one particular animal. Because who loves to eat young, tender, woody plants? The impala. This bush encroachment wasn't a problem for them. It was an all-you-can-eat buffet that was suddenly spreading across the entire park. Their food source was all of a sudden everywhere. And the impala population just absolutely exploded. By the late 1960s, there were nearly 100,000 of them in the park. They became the most numerous herbivore by far. And at that scale, they went from being just passive residents to active landscape engineers, literally controlling the growth of new trees with their sheer numbers. So this incredible success story puts the impala right at the heart of Kruger's great survival drama. A population this big doesn't just change the plant life, it becomes the foundation of the entire food web. The numbers here are just staggering. Impalas make up 76% of a leopard's diet. For wild dogs, it's an unbelievable 88%. For cheetahs, it's almost 68%. They are, without a doubt, the fast food of the savanna, fueling the park's most iconic predators. But this role as primary prey comes with a pretty stark consequence. I want you to consider this number, 40. By the third year of an impala's life, that's how many males are left for every 100 females. At birth, the ratio is about even, so where did all the males go? Well, the answer is that intense pressure from predators. During the mating season, the rut, all those young, non-territorial males get forced out of the main herds. They have to live in these much more dangerous habitats, and that makes them way more vulnerable, especially to ambush predators like leopards, which is what directly creates this skewed gender ratio over time.
But don't you dare mistake them for easy victims. Impalas are equipped with a whole suite of sophisticated defenses. They're constantly assessing risk, avoiding dense bush along rivers, and using alarm snorts and foot stamping to signal danger. They do these stiff-legged leaps called stotting, which is basically a signal to a predator that says, hey, I'm super fit, don't even bother chasing me. And if an attack does come, the herd just explodes in all directions at once, a tactic designed to totally confuse a predator's focus.
So we come all the way back to our original question. Just another impala? After seeing how their ancient design, their complex social lives, and their surprising role as landscape architects have made them an absolute linchpin of the savanna, I think we have a new answer. So the next time you see one, maybe you won't see just a common animal. Maybe you'll see a true cornerstone of an entire ecosystem.